There is a statement that is true, and that mathematics can never prove. Not because it is difficult, because it is impossible. And by the end of this, you will have watched it being built. In 1900, David Hilbert stood in front of the world's mathematicians and set them a task. Put all of mathematics on a foundation so solid that nothing could ever shake it. Start with axioms, a handful of statements so obvious you simply accept them. Then add rules for deriving new statements from old ones. Turn the handle, and theorems come out. That is all a proof is. A chain. Each link follows from the last by a rule you already agreed to. Follow the chain, and you cannot arrive at a lie. And here is the beautiful part. You do not have to understand a proof to check it. You only have to check that every step obeys a rule. A machine could do it. Hilbert wanted two things from this system, and he wanted both at once. The first was completeness. Every statement that is true should be reachable. No true thing left stranded outside the chain. The second was consistency. No false statement should ever be reachable. Turn the handle for 1,000 years and you will never produce a contradiction. Truth and proof, the same thing, forever. Hilbert was so certain that he had it carved on his gravestone. We must know. We will know. 31 years later, a 25-year-old logician named Kurt Gödel proved that this is impossible. Not difficult. Not unsolved. Impossible. To break the machine, Gödel needed the machine to talk about itself. And that is the problem. Arithmetic does not talk about proofs, or axioms, or systems. It talks about numbers. So Gödel turned proofs into numbers. Give every symbol in the language a code. The not sign is 1. The or sign is 2. For all is 3. 0 is 6. And so on, through the entire alphabet. Now any formula is just a row of codes. A sentence written in mathematics becomes a list of numbers. And a list of numbers can be squeezed into *1 number. Raise the first prime to the first code. The second prime to the second code. Multiply the whole lot together. That number is astronomically large. It is also unique. Every whole number factors into primes exactly one way, so from the number alone you can recover the exact formula it came from. Nothing is lost. Now do the same thing to proofs. A proof is a list of formulas. Each formula is already a number. So a proof is a list of numbers. Which is a number. And now something has quietly changed, and it is the hinge of the whole argument. Does this proof prove this theorem? That used to be a question for a human being. Now it is a question about whether one number divides another. Mathematics can describe itself. So write down a statement about two numbers. Call it proof of m, n. It is true exactly when m is the code of a valid proof of the statement whose code is n. Nothing mystical is happening here. This is an ordinary statement about arithmetic. Long, tedious, thousands of symbols, but it is only multiplication, division, and remainders. Now say that no such m exists. That no number anywhere is the code of a proof of n. That sentence has a plain English meaning. Statement n cannot be proved. And here Gödel does the thing that should not work. It is the same move Cantor used to prove that some infinities are bigger than others. He feeds the statement its own number. Every statement has a code, and this statement is no exception. So take the sentence statement n has no proof, and choose n to be that very sentence's own code. Call the result g. And read what g says. It is not a play on words. It is a specific, enormous whole number and a perfectly legitimate statement of arithmetic. It just happens to be about itself. There are only two possibilities. Either G can be proved, or it cannot. Suppose G can be proved. A consistent system only proves things that are true, so G is true. But G says it has no proof. And we just proved it. So the system has proved something false. It contradicts itself. Consistency is gone. So take the other branch. G cannot be proved. But that is exactly what G claims about itself. Which makes G true. A true statement. With no proof. Completeness is gone. Either the system contradicts itself, or there is a truth it can never reach. Hilbert asked for both. He can have neither. There is an obvious repair. Fine, add G as a new axiom. Declare it true, bolt it on, and carry on. But the new system is still a system. It still has symbols, still has codes, still has proofs. So run the construction again. A new G appears. Still true. Still unprovable. And again. And again, forever. The whole is not in any particular system. It is in the idea of a system. Then Gödel proved a second thing, and it is worse than the first. No consistent system of this kind can prove its own consistency. If a system ever announces that it is free of contradiction, that announcement is itself proof that it is not. The only systems that vouch for themselves are the broken ones. Now, this is not a license for mysticism. Gödel did not show that nothing can be known, or that reason fails, or that anything you like might secretly be true. G is unprovable inside that system. But we can see, standing outside it, that G is true. That is not a paradox. It is the whole point. What Gödel showed is narrower than the myth, and much stranger. Truth is bigger than proof. And the reason is not that mathematics is weak. It is that mathematics is strong enough to describe itself. Powerful enough to encode its own rules, and therefore powerful enough to write a sentence about its own limits. Mathematics is not incomplete because we are not clever enough. It is incomplete because it can talk about itself.